Hi, I'm Deepa. Welcome to ShaktiShots. As you know, ShaktiShots is all about a challenge that we face at this point of time and a panelist that has a secret sauce or a superpower to solve the challenge. I'm Deepa. I'm the founder and CEO of Journeys from Zinda. The panelist today is Atul Khosla. Atul, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Deepa. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you. My name is Atul Khosla. I'm a business leader. I lead talent, leadership, and organization effectiveness for Mondelez International, and I'm based here in Chicago. My pleasure to be with you today, Deepa.
Awesome. Awesome, Atul. So one of the things that we are seeing at this point of time is the fact that, we've seen that there are probably 34 million people in the US that are unemployed at this point of time, right? So we've seen that these could be people anywhere from the top, the CEO, all the way to the ground staff. So now in this kind of scenario, I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of stress with respect to, hey, I lost my job. Or in some cases, because of where companies are at, a lot of people are worried for their job, right? So in this scenario, what do they do? They are working through a lot of stress in addition to the stress of COVID that they have in their personal lives and their work life anyway. So that is a challenge for today. And Atul has a secret sauce or a superpower that he's developed to solve for this. So can you tell us a little bit about that, Atul?
Absolutely, my pleasure. By the way, my secret sauce is humanity in leadership.
Okay.
And I'm going to come to that in a minute, Deepa. But before that, I think what you said really resonates with me because these are very unusual and unique times. People are impacted, their livelihoods are impacted, jobs are impacted, businesses are basically suffering significantly due to the situation we are all in. And it's impacting employment, as you said, across the spectrum in the organizations. But I think the silver lining out of this is that people are showing up as who they are. And in the conversations you have with your business leaders or as you connect with your people, the lines between their personal and professional lives are blurring, which is the positive I see out of this situation. And that, by the way, is also closer to me personally because I'm a big believer in maintaining and sustaining humanity in leadership. Mm. Now, one thing I would say is that when situation improves, eventually there will be people who will lose out of this circumstances, and there'll be people who will come out as winners. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, people who are demonstrating perseverance, who are demonstrating resilience, will be able to withstand through this phase and come out stronger on the other end of this change. And to me, that's a fundamental enabler for building sustainability in your leadership. So I truly believe we need a little bit of a reset in how we see leadership in business. In the businesses, there are multiple influences which drive performance in the short term. Starting from your shareholders to your boards, there are expectations to deliver quarter after quarter. Our processes, our systems, our rewards, our recognition, our benefits are designed around encouraging short-term success. People move and grow in the organization because they are able to deliver outcomes in the short term. But that also takes away something from you because that's putting a lot of stress where the need to focus on those capabilities which will enable you to win in the short term overtake your investment in yourself, in your relationships, in your connections. So in my concept of leading with humanity, I call about or talk about building your core, nurturing and sustaining your core, who you are, what you stand for, what your personal purpose is, what your values are. Your humility, your compassion is what your core is all about.
Do you want me to share the screen, Atul?
Yeah, please. Why don't you share that? Yes. So to me, if we are directly going to, that's perfect. This is it. So my sense is the black band or the dark band of capabilities which you see there is what the whole world is focused on, starting from the young graduates in the MBA institutes or business schools, to early interns in the organizations, to very senior leaders in the organization. They are seeking out those capabilities which will enable them to build and enhance their impact in whatever environment they are. But my sense is that if you're not continuously investing in your core and not building your capacity, only focusing on your capabilities is not sustainable. So if you want to...
So is this almost like saying that, hey, anybody can become a great leader in good times, but being a great leader in times of, when the times are not great, is that what the core and the capacity that you're talking about is?
You're spot on, Deepa. So as I said, the resilience and the perseverance, which will enable people to win in the long term, is that capacity and core. So people who have a very well-nurtured core and who continue to build capacity will continue to do well, will be able to, in a better position to withstand the challenges like what we are faced with today, and come out stronger and successful on the other end of this challenge, compared to others who've been extremely impactful in the short term with the capabilities which are needed in that space, but lack the strength of the core or their capacity. So if I decode it a little bit further, or if I unfold it, if you go to the next slide for me, Deepa, my sense is that what you got to really take care of your core and capacity as you take care of your capabilities. So in our careers, as we grow, we are constantly learning new skills. We are constantly learning new technologies. I mean, all of us, I'm at least in people who are in my contemporary kind of careers, we didn't know computers like 20 years back when we started working. We were thrilled with the calculators, but we all learned how to deal with computers, and we are now pretty efficient. I wouldn't say we are the experts, but we are pretty efficient with those new skills because we can deal with the complexity of the new world. But having said that, we got to do the same thing with our core and capacity, which we typically ignore. So to me, connecting back with your ambition, connecting back with your purpose, connecting back with your values, challenging yourself whether you are really the same person. Are you really building your strength in who you are and showing up every day who you are? And then building relationships which are not for profit, not building networks, and not in a negative undertone. But I want to call out, your relationships are those people who you connect with just because you want to connect with them. These are people you are investing in because they invest their success. They invest their focus in your success. Once you have those relationships, that gives you enormous capability to be successful in difficult or tough times. So my sense is that, my secret sauce, you asked me that question, is continue focusing on your core, continue nurturing your core, investing, asking the questions back to you, continue to demonstrate who you are so that people can connect with you, and then build on those relationships and those collaborations, which will set you up for success in a sustained way and will enable you to really go through these challenges and these difficult phases with relative ease.
How do you do that, Atul? How do you focus on your core and your capacity? Because the other things, you have training departments that do that, right? I mean, this is a little different because this is really you working on yourself, which is so much harder to do.
I think that's a great question, Deepa. And a lot of times when I talk about core and capacity or humanity, a lot of people ask me this question: how do you do that? Do you train for it? Do you have to take a time off, or do you have to step away from what you're doing to reflect on that? And my sense is no. You got to just believe in who you are. You got to continuously remind yourself what you stand for. And then you need to show up as who you are. So the temptation of showing up, Deepa, who you are not, is very strong. I mean, I moved countries a couple of years back from Singapore to the US. I moved to Singapore from the US, and I moved to the US at that time from Switzerland. So every time I move to a new environment, the pressure on you to quickly settle in or fit in to a different environment is so strong that you start moving away or wavering from who you are, and you want to show up as who you want to be seen as by others. So my sense is it's a every day, it's just showing up with your personality, with your ambition, with your values, with your purpose, with which people will connect, no matter which part of the world you are. They want to gravitate and connect with your core. So my sense is keep reminding yourself. When I wake up, I ask myself, how do I want to show up every day when I go and impact or work with other people? What do I stand for? What I would never compromise? What I need to do more of? Can I talk about compassion? Can I bring smile on at least 5 different faces today as I walk past? A simple hello, a shake hand, or seeking out someone for a cup of coffee. What can you do in a particular day which just enhances and nurtures who you are? And I can tell you the payback is much bigger than what you're trying to do. So if I'm trying to be compassionate and humble, I walk away with the much different, very, very unique responses from people, which make me feel as a better human being in that moment. That's about it. It doesn't need to go away and take a break and go to the mountains and do something different. It's about living your life, which is uniquely your gift, every day in a certain manner.
Being true to yourself.
Exactly.
Right. And this is actually very interesting because a lot of the times in business, you're asked to focus on data, right? Not gut, data. But some of these things, there is really a combination of gut and data, right?
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of the times it's like you don't focus on your intuition. I actually had a lady called Therese Rowley who did a talk on intuitive intelligence. So she's talking about how to find your center, how to find your intuition, so that you know who you are versus so that you can actually be authentic and be genuine. So this is, typically that is not something that you talk about in business. I think in business you talk about all of these areas, right? I mean, this is what we talk all day, all the time, right?
Exactly.
None of this.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, to me, when people talk about capabilities, to me, that's a given. A lot of times that's a price of entry, Deepa, especially when you're in senior leadership roles in the organizations. It's not a trade-off in a way that, you can do without having strong functional expertise or deep knowledge or skill of the area you are in or deep understanding the business you're leading. To me, that's a given. But how do you really differentiate? Because there are probably 20 people like you who know the business, who can analyze data better, who have probably the same level of digital skills as you have. Your unique recipe or your unique differentiation is who you are. Every human being is different. So how do you nurture your core? How do you show up as who you are? With those capabilities, then your impact goes up multifold. But if you're just focused on the capabilities and people don't know who you are because you may be different every day, they can experience you very differently every day, then that impact is not sustainable. So when I talk about building sustainability in leadership is about building that connection with your core of the capabilities which you're getting, which will help you to build the impact.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Atul. This was awesome. This was, again, not something that you typically talk about in business, but something that is absolutely needed. And this is as good a time during this COVID era to, if we haven't done this before, to really do that reset and see if we can actually reach back in.
It's my pleasure, Deepa. It was great connecting with you. And I believe and I hope that people look at leadership differently as this becomes a kind of a reminder for us that this is the time to look at leadership with a different mindset. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys. That's all for today.